So, before we start rigging the letters, first we actually need to start modeling them. So, we're going to do this using a text object because that's probably the easiest way. So, we'll delete the default cube, and we'll do Shift A, go down to text, and just select that. You'll see here that we have the word text. We can then press Tab to toggle, and we'll be rigging the letter I, so just type in the letter I. And right now Blender's using its own kind of default text, which is in this section here called font, and it's using B font. Now because we're doing a Pixar styled animation, we're going to need the Pixar font, which is, I think it's called Cambria, or maybe not. But we'll go to downloads. I already have it downloaded. You can find it in the link. There'll be a link to the files. So if you go down to letter rigging, and you'll find Charlemagne, that's what it's called. So we'll select that, and you'll now see that the I looks different, and it now says Charlemagne down here. So right now we only have the text, and it's pretty thin. So what we'll do first is we'll rotate it 90 degrees, so it's standing up, and we're going to have to move this origin point later, but let's make sure the scale is correct first. So I've kind of decided that the letter I think, would be about the height of a human waist. So we can scale that to about here, and that's about a good height. So we can delete this. So if you want the exact value, it's about 2. So we'll just put it at 2. There we go. So then we can apply the scale, and then we're going to add a modifier, and we're going to add a solidify modifier. And this solidify modifier you can set to about 0.1. So what we'll do is, after we apply the solidify modifier, we do F3, convert to mesh. So right now our text object is now a mesh, so it's its own object. So if we press tab, you'll see that the topology looks pretty bad, like this isn't good. So what we'll need to do is we need to make the topology look better, and the fastest way to do this is to use a remesh modifier. So if we do add modifier and we go to remesh, you'll see this thing will suddenly look weird, and we need to change it to sharp. And for me, I figured about 4 to 5 octrees normally works, so we can do 5. So then we can just apply the modifier by hovering over and pressing Ctrl A. Now you see the topology is much cleaner and nicer to work with. So then we can go into wireframe view and just delete kind of the thick area, so it's easier to clean up the topology. So we'll do that. And now we basically go through and we kind of simplify the mesh. So I'm going to turn on auto merge, because that's going to be useful. So you can turn that on here. So then when you slide 2 vertices, it automatically merges together into one. So I'll do that here. And for these, just slide these down. Put these kind of in the center. Have to do the same down here as well. So topology is pretty clean, but there is quite a lot of vertices to work with, so we want to use kind of less. So we'll just go through and we'll kind of loop slide, remove about every other vertice. So I'll do that here as well. There we go. If you're doing other letters, you might have to work on the topology differently, but you want to get something relatively simple and kind of easy to manage. So we'll just do this here, and then select a few of these. And then we'll just move these around so they're kind of more evenly spaced. So here is basically our letter I. So what we'll do next is we'll kind of center it and then solidify it and make it look pretty nice and realistic. So first we'll select the 2 corner vertices here, and we'll do Shift S, cursor to selected. And then we can basically put the origin where that cursor is, so it's kind of center of the mesh. So set origin to 3D cursor, press Alt G, and we'll move it to the middle. And then you go to modifiers, and we're going to add a solidify modifier. So we'll do that now. And once again, we'll put it to 0.1. So just to make sure this is kind of center, we'll just select the entire mesh and press G on the Y and do negative 0.05. So now it's centered. We have a solidify modifier. Now we're going to bevel it. So we'll apply the solidify modifier like that. We'll go to add modifier, bevel, and we'll set this to 0.0035. So it looks pretty good right now, but we're going to want to add a subdivision for later when we want to kind of have nice deforms. And when we do that, things start to look weird. Like here you can see this weird kind of stretching and stuff. So what we're going to do is, instead of having it automatically detect where the bevels go, we're going to do it ourselves. So set this to weight, and we can disable subdivision for now. And you'll want to go into edit mode, and up here you'll see this mean bevel weight. We're going to be playing with this a lot. So first we're going to do edge select, and we're going to select kind of where all the sharp edges should be. So along here, and then you just set mean bevel weight to 1. Oops, like that. So you can see here that the bevel weight is starting to show through. So we'll just go around and we'll do this for the entire mesh. Just all the way around like this. We'll just do that. So you can see here, it kind of looks how it was before, and if we turn on the subdivision, it's giving this weird kind of like bending like that, and we don't really want that. But if we try and add a bevel weight here, it gives us the same issue as before. So what we'll do is add a bevel weight across the top, and that will kind of even it out and clean up that kind of weird clipping that's happening. So we'll do the same down at the bottom. Just select the 4 sides. And now things look much cleaner. So we can shade smooth this. I would recommend you do about 2 to 3 in the bevel. That gives it like nice sharp, but still keeps it relatively smooth. You can see here we don't really have that issue anymore. And the subdivision is working pretty well. So once we've done that, if you want to, you can duplicate it and keep a hidden one in case you want to go back to it. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to keep going. So once we have that, we can basically apply all the modifiers. And you'll see here we have some pretty nice looking topology. We can get rid of the bevel weight now. So there we go. We kind of have our text object. The topology here is kind of weird. Probably isn't how it's supposed to be, but it's fine because rigging will sort that out. So if you want to, we can create our own material. So we're in Eevee, and here we go. This is good. Open up a new panel. We'll go to shader, and we'll create. Oh, Blender's running a little bit slow. We'll do a letter underscore I dash material. So then we can just make it relatively dark. Maybe set specular to a little bit lower, and the roughness to 0.6. And now we have this pretty nice letter. So this will be the end of part 1 on creating the text. We'll then start moving on to rigging. So hope to see you soon.